As a person from Alberta as well, who was in Saskatchewan a couple weeks ago visiting my partner. This is absolutely fucking hysterical. It is actually, I will say, it is, they're not joking when they say it is very flat. I swear to God, I think I saw a total of like 5 hills. And they were all man-made hills. I made the joke when we were driving from the airport to Jasper's house, and I was like, wow, there's a hill. And like I made, like, we both of us made the joke anytime we saw a hill. So we literally, I shit you not, made it like 4 or 5 times, because there just isn't hills. Though the sky, holy fucking shit, you could see the sky so well. I should also clarify though, I'm talking about Saskatoon, which I've never been to Regina. In fact, I've that was the first time I ever went to Saskatchewan ever. It was a couple weeks ago. I think there's supposed to be like hills in Regina. I could be wrong. But yeah, Saskatoon area, very, very flat. But yeah, upside you can see the stars very well up there. I saw the Northern Lights for the first time when I was up there. I also saw the Northern Lights a few days ago up here, but I live on an acreage up here, so, you know. It was actually quite interesting, because, we went, like, downtown at one point, and my partner was like, this is, like, the sketchy area of the city. Wandering around, and I'm like, yeah, the sketchy area. Because, like, when I tell you, Saskatoon is like Edmonton, but smaller. Yeah. It's like smaller, flatter, less sketchy Edmonton is what Saskatoon is. Which is like hilarious, because I'm pretty sure like the murder capital of like Canada is somewhere in Saskatchewan. But I also met rats in person for the first time in Saskatchewan. So that's something, I guess, as well. Saskatchewan is like Alberta, but flatter, and they can have rats. It is after 2 a.m, and I should be sleeping, but I just, I'm feeling silly. So, also I might be going back to Saskatchewan in a couple weeks, so 'tis on the brain. Okay. So you mentioned wanting to cut your hair, right? Yeah. How short are you thinking? Can we just do the blonde first and then the haircut? I mean, yeah, the only thing is if you want it to be as short as Kristen Stewart's in Charlie's Angels, then we'll just kind of be wasting a lot of bleach on your hair. Because we'll just, like, bleach a shit ton of it and then cut most of it off. So. Oh, I guess I didn't think of that. Are you sure you want to do this? What? Yes, of course I want to do this. Okay. Just checking. Right. Sorry, I just have never had this much autonomy, so now you don't take very kindly to people asking you if you're sure you know what you want. So what we can do is we can cut off some of it now, and then if you want more off after we're done bleaching, then we can. Yeah, sure. Alright, can you hand me my brush? Thank you. So how much do you actually want to take off? I don't want it past my shoulders. Ember. Alex, do you see how long your hair is now? I do. In fact, I am hyper aware of it on my neck and shoulders every single day. Okay, still, but even shoulder length is a big change. Hair grows back. Not that fast. Good. Less upkeep. If you're sure. I am. Okay. Alright, it's done. It already feels so much lighter on my neck. Oh my god. How do you feel? Alex, what the hell did you do to my curls?
Listen, I also have natural curls, so I got out some of my stuff for styling my hair, though your curls are definitely tighter than mine. So, it's not the best, and some of them I definitely just recurled with my curling iron, but
I'm kind of obsessed with it.
Still, I can always show you if you ever want to style a curly again.
Thank you.
Steve? Bucky? Yeah. I saw this coming.
Oh, great. I'm glad whatever you did didn't completely fry your fucking brain.
Actually, I have a photographic memory now, so...
Oh, great, so I can get an in-depth explanation of what the hell you were thinking?
Okay, I was thinking that it wasn't fair that they were gonna leave you to die.
Right, yeah, okay. Yeah, that didn't answer any of my questions, Steve.
Well, then you gotta be more specific, Buck.
Stephen Grant Rogers, last time I saw you, you were 90 pounds soaking wet, 5 feet tall, and you had asthma. Now, you're taller than me, built like a brick shit house, and Captain America. Great performances, by the way, so you want to explain what the hell you did?
Well, it's kind of a long story.
I have all the time in the world. Start talking.
Guys, come on. I think I've been making Marvel TikToks long enough for you guys to know better than to comment stuff like this. Of course they kissed. But, you know, I make these videos all by myself. It's just me. At least in terms of filming and acting. I consult many people about the videos. Against their will, usually. I'm kidding. Kind of. But yeah, no. In a scene like this, especially if they're gonna kiss, they're gonna kiss. And I just, yeah, no. I'm good. I don't need to represent that when it's just me. However, I have a partner who likes to go along with my dumb shit, so if you guys actually really do want a Stucky video where you actually get a Stucky kiss, I can make that happen. I was filming this video yesterday, and if you read the caption, you will know, well, first of all, thought I bruised my wrist. No, but this, is that a bruise? Either way, so like this part of my hand is a bit swollen from doing this against the wall multiple times, and then afterwards slamming my hand against the wall multiple times to make it sound like I was like physically slamming myself against the wall. And I also hit my head 4 times. I didn't put that in the caption. I forgot to. I actually forgot that it happened because like the wrist and hand thing was more recent, I guess. But I did also smack my head against the wall like 3 or 4 times. And I told Jasper that, and he was like, "Why would you do this? Don't hurt yourself for a video." And I was like, "Listen, I needed Bucky to pin Steve to the wall." And he was like, "And you couldn't wait for me to be there? Like, you couldn't just wait?" So, Jasper and I have also like kind of discussed cosplaying Stucky again anyway. Plus, I have convinced them, and by convince, I mean I said I had an idea, and he agreed with no hesitation. I've convinced him to do a Spidey Pool skit with me that I have mostly scripted, and we don't even have the cosplays for that, and we aren't even, like, planning on doing the cosplay until April, so, but after all this time, after all the times of doing Marvel videos, and especially doing Stucky stuff, I think all of us deserve a Stucky kiss, including myself. Especially if you consider the amount of times Jasper and I almost kissed when we were in Stucky cosplay. I think we're all owed that. Anyway, I don't even know what this video was. I was gonna just make the joke, oh, like, of course they kissed, and then I just started yapping, so, yeah. What's new? I need to go home. I just got off work. Okay. Not quite. Listen, yes, more often than not, Omegas are, like, bottoms in the Omegaverse. But no, being an Omega, there's a lot more to it than being a bottom. And yeah, like I said, it's not always the case. I feel more often than not when people are discussing it, usually they'll assign whichever character they think is the bottom to as the Omega. That's not what I do, though. And I think if you're in like a situation where you're actually into the Omegaverse, like how I am,
you definitely weigh a lot other things. Like, I've discussed at length the different reasons why I could see the different dynamics for Steve, specifically pertaining to Stucky, and specifically when it's, like, MCU Steve. Like, I think that Omega Steve also makes a lot of sense with the fact that he kept getting, like, rejected when he tried to enlist, as well as the fact is if we're talking about an alpha omega pairing and we're talking about Stucky, which is what I mainly read, is like, I think if one of them has to be an alpha and one of them has to be an omega, or like in general, if one of them has to be, like, they have to be a different designation. They can't be an alpha alpha or an omega omega pairing, which again I've discussed this at length. Anyway, point is if I think one of them has to be an alpha and one of them has to be an omega, because that's typically, like, what people will write. I think if people write it, especially based on the MCU version, the one that makes the most sense would be Alpha Bucky and Omega Steve, simply because Bucky was drafted, like, canonically drafted into the war, and in the Omegaverse, Omegas play the roles that, like, women, like, that, like, the stereotypical roles that women, like, play in, like, society and such. So they weren't drafting Omegas into the war. In an Omegaverse universe, they're not drafting Omegas into the war. That was my thought process. Now, how the serum comes into play is a whole other thing, because, like, the serum changing Steve into an alpha, the serum, like, him not presenting until he got the serum, and then he presented as an alpha or any other designation, could see. I'm also very much for Beta Bucky and Alpha Steve, just because Bucky has, like, had to rein Steve in so many times. But also, you know, initially Alpha Alpha, or even, like, Steve being an Omega, being changed by the serum, and Bucky being an alpha, and then being bitched when he was turned into the Winter Soldier. I could see that. I've read fics about that. Yeah, the point of this insane video, no, there's, that's not the only thing that, we take into account. Another thing, too, people will do when they want to sign them, this is it also has to do with which ones they want to see pregnant, but that's a whole thing. That's not a thing I take into consideration, because I don't particularly like mpreg, but it is a thing. But anyway, the point is, there's a lot more that people take into consideration when they say that a character is an omega, and it's a lot more than just characters about them. You know, when I got into Spideypool, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. You know what? If I'm being so honest, I thought... I didn't think it was gonna be this good. To be fair, though, my experience with Spideypool, very limited, because, you know, a lot of the fixations that I've had on Marvel has, like, been primarily on MCU stuff, and to be fair as well, a lot of fanfics and, like, fan content are based around the MCU version of the characters. So Spideypool just, like, doesn't work when we're talking about the cinematic universes, at least, like, specifically Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Anyway, point is every single time before now that I, like, consumed Spideypool content, or, like, was exposed to Spideypool content, was not on purpose, and most of the time it was MCU Peter, and I was like, what the fuck? And literally, you know what, like, the worst part about it is, like, you know, it's weird if people would, like, take him from the movies and then just age him up just to ship him with Wade. That would still be weird, but they just don't do that. I straight up read one where Peter was still 17 and Wade was, like, 40. And they're like, okay. Huh? Like, I shit you not. I was reading a Stucky fic and that happened once, and I was like, what the... Anyway, but getting into, like, canon Spider-Man and Deadpool dynamics is hilarious. Having read, I'm reading the comic now, and I was, you know, doing research, because of course I do. You know what? One time I was hanging out with my friend in fucking Los Angeles. I can speak. We were in their dorm,
and they were like, what are you doing? We were both like just on our phones, and I was like, I'm reading the fan wiki for Bucky Barnes. They thought I was joking. I wasn't. And like then they looked at my phone, they were like, oh my god. But so yeah, research by Deadpool. Why do they literally have a biological child? What the fuck? Like, they have a child that is biologically both of theirs. They were not like involved in it necessarily. Well, they were, but they weren't, because it was like they took Wade's DNA and Spider-Man's DNA and then made a person. Also, I just got to the part of the comic where they're like, Spider-Man is on his cheat list, and then they also danced in their underwear and did the lift from Dirty Dancing. I'm tired. What? Okay. So in the Deadpool and Wolverine, they said that they were in Earth 616, and I just looked up the name of Wade and Peter's child, which is Itsy Bitsy, by the way, and they said that that is canon to Earth 616. I also just discovered that this character is introduced in the 8th issue of the Spider-Man / Deadpool comic. Which one am I? I'm on the 5th one. Oh my god. I will update when I get to that point of the comic on what the fuck is going on with that. I was just gonna look up more information about it. Because, like, I did read up a bit about it before, and then I just, most of the information, it just left my brain. It was probably, like, 3 in the morning when I found it. If it's me, let's be honest. But instead, I'm just gonna come back and let you know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, no, I didn't know what I was getting into. It's hilarious, and I actually love it. Also, the identity porn in the Spider-Man / Deadpool comic is god tier. Literally him trying to become friends with Spider-Man, and then being hired to kill Peter Parker. He dies in the 4th issue, too. He's like in the in-between somewhere. I don't know. I'm like halfway through the 5th issue, and like Deadpool's in hell, and he's like, where the fuck is he? I actually love it. I'm having the best time. That's how he reacted before he knew how you got there. I stand by that reaction to this day. I can't believe. I just can't. How do you handle finding out about the grenade? The what? You didn't tell him about the grenade? What grenade? Oh, what grenade, Steve? What? Steve? Don't you dare try to lie to me. Sam! I'm just gonna go.
Don't do anything stupid until I get back.
How can I? Taking all the stupid with you.
You're a punk.
Jerk. Careful.
I can't be the only one who hears you. Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room. Fears, tell me fears, don't get me started. I need a little gray.
Can I do it this time? Oh, I'm kind of doing it. It's falling on the front of my head. Does not like me. Doesn't like me. So rude. I can see nothing out of this. Okay. That's the verdict. Incredible. We cannot see anything. Okay. Good to go? I guess. Okay. You don't know where you are. Here's the dark. so good. Yep. Okay. And now hold it.
Okay.
So you're just gonna hold it up to me.
Okay. Well, I know where things are.
Yeah. 100%.
So much right now.
Yep. So now I'm ghost. And there's gonna be no props and then props.
You're ghosting.
I'm ghosting.
Checking. Yep, we can see you.
Yeah, okay. And it's recording?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
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 I'm ghosting.
Okay. Where am I standing?
Like a step or two away from me.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Yep. Struggle's real.
Don't fall.
I'm doing my best.
I have to put my sunglasses on.
How do people do this?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay, there you are.
Hi.
Hi.
How do those glasses feel?
Better. They're staying on too. Where's your hand?
I don't know.
Where's your hand? There's your hand. There's your hand. Yes, I am. Yep. 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 Hi.
Hi.
Like, okay, wait.
What are you looking
I'm far away from it. I'm scared. I can't feel it. There we go. There we go. We're good. We're good. Okay. So just. Okay. Yeah. We're just gonna. Dumb pose. Okay.
What dumb pose are you doing? I don't know.
You get to see later, I guess.
I guess so.
I guess so. I guess.
Use the little ledge here too. I don't know what you want us to do now. Stealing my sunglasses. Dare you steal my sunglasses?
Please.
A little worried.
Alright, this is season 2, episode 17. Careful what you wish for. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. So Shannon might be pregnant. Okay. I don't know. I like Shannon as a character. I do. For the most part. I don't really have anything bad to say about her. I don't like her and Eddie together. I think they're better off separated, to be honest. I don't think what they have going is healthy. I'm a little worried about the outcome of her potentially being pregnant. I don't know. Alright, and Shannon wants to get a divorce. She wants to divorce Eddie. Can't say I didn't see it coming. The vibe was off with their relationship the whole time. They're bringing all the people, or a whole bunch of people that Maddie helped, and Gloria's back!
Maddie has more patience than I ever did. Gloria. I thought that you took a plea. And since we skipped the trial, I never got a chance to see you again to tell you I was wrong.
How about hanging up on people?
About the dead-end calls. The people that couldn't be saved. I always thought there was nothing I could do for them. But there was. I could have listened. Just been there for them at the end. So they didn't have to be alone.
But is that enough? I mean, I'm there for them in the beginning. I'm there for them in the middle, but it still doesn't seem like it's enough to make a difference.
It's not until it's your emergency. And then you realize that the middle is the scariest part, because you don't just need help. You need hope.
And that's what your voice is, Maddie. It's hope.
What's your emergency?
Haven't Eddie and Christopher been through enough? You're gonna kill Shannon? Eight minutes left in the episode. This is so unfair.
Dear Christopher, I'm sure you're wondering where I am. Or maybe not. You're so young, maybe you've already adapted to a world without me. I hope for that. And fear it at the same time. Please know that I love you, and I want all the best things in life for you. But I'm starting to think that I'm not one of those things. At least not right now.
Come on.
I've made a lot of mistakes. They weigh on me. Some days it feels like they're gonna pull me under. Some days I wish they would. And that scares me. Not for myself, but for you.
Come on.
You are a beautiful, amazing boy. I want your life to be happy and free and full of joy. And I'm not sure that's possible with me in it.
Come on.
It's okay to hate me for leaving. I will understand if you never forgive me.
Come on. Oh.
But always know that I love you, baby. Even if it's from a distance.
Well, shit. Well, shit. Okay. This feels like that one time I was reading Six of Crows, and I was reading, I think, chapter 14 of Crooked Kingdom, and everyone was warning me about it, and I started crying halfway through the chapter. Had to take a break and then finished the chapter, cried again, and was like, how did it get worse? How did it keep getting worse? Maybe I'll just put that clip in here. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? How did it get worse? How does it just
personal tragedies. Shannon did not see that coming. Absolutely did not. Her wanting a divorce? Saw coming. Her dying? No. And now, there's a serial bomber just dropping off packages, bombs at people's houses. And now we're on the last episode of season 2 and Bobby is still suspended from being captain. Or from working for the fire department. Okay.
I can't be the only one who hears you. Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room. Fears, tell me fears, don't get me started. I get a little gray hair for every scare.